Hello there, and welcome to Wake Up and Live with the Arts. I'm Sue Johnson, your host, along with some fabulous guests joining us this afternoon here at the Rainey Institute. Many of you know it for its famous youth and education programs, which feature many, many arts and dance and performing and all kinds of classes, productions, led by Jennifer Harris, Executive Director, along with her fantastic team of associates. So we are all here, thanks to Rainey Institute, to welcome our guests today, starting with, and I'm going to save her cohort till a little later, but we're going to start with Ms. Faye Sholiton, founder and playwright, and she is the founder of the Jewish Interplay Theatre, which has become an institution itself in the past number of years now. Faye, welcome.
Thank you.
And the camera might be crossing our friend here, Ben Becker, who we're going to talk to in a minute. Your production company, the Jewish Interplay Theatre. How long has it been in existence now?
Okay, the full title is Interplay Jewish Theatre, and we started in September of 2011, so we hit our 8th anniversary in September. And what we do is we're the answer to the absence of Jewish theater for a number of years after the JCC closed its productions.
Was a shame.
It was, yes. And that wasn't satisfactory. There were too many people who loved it and missed it. Mm-hmm. So we came up with a new model for doing theater. We don't charge anything for it. So that's crazy in and of itself, but we thought that just running on volunteer donations, we could bring works that are not ordinarily done in this area and bring the whole community under that umbrella of theater with Jewish theme viewed through a contemporary lens.
And you have a production opening immediately being performed by Deb Filler. Tell us about that production.
Yes.
Do that again, hon, because I lost. Here's my copy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we're doing, and we're very excited about it, is teaming with the gentleman who's sitting next to me here from the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage. Interplay, since 2013, has partnered with the Maltz Museum to help support their exhibits and their programming, and I will have Ben describe what their reason for being is, but it's basically a museum of tolerance and diversity and celebration of difference. And so the current exhibit is the story of Leonard Bernstein and the power of music to impact virtually every part of our lives. And they wanted something that dealt with Leonard Bernstein's life. They were hoping to have it relate in some way to Holocaust history because they're beefing up their studies in that department. But anyway, they wanted these two things, and I knew of Deb Filler, who was in Cleveland in 1996 performing her one-woman show, Punch Me in the Stomach, mm-hmm. Which described living with Holocaust survivors who, go ahead, punch me in the stomach, to show how tough they were. And she's a stand-up comic, she is a musician, she's a storyteller, and now the story that she had to tell is one that resonates for this audience because when Leonard Bernstein went to 2 DP camps in 1947 and 48, he conducted George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue and also played. Yeah. And that night, all the people in those camps, when they saw him perform, their lives started over. It was the first life-affirming thing that they had experienced. And she tells that story. There's a 15-minute film called Mr. Bernstein in which she tracks him down to thank him for saving her father's life. That's what we're bringing to the Maltz Museum, along with her comedy and her storytelling and her singing on Wednesday, January 15th at 7 p.m. And we're delighted once again, to have the support, and also the support of the Jewish Community Center. The Mandel Jewish Community Center is giving us their space for the evening, so we can fit hundreds of people in the Stonehill Auditorium. So all thanks to them.
Exactly. And do you happen to know the phone number to the Maltz Museum for folks who want to get tickets?
Yes, the phone number is 216-593-0575.
And we'll have that up on the screen. Now, also, let us say, even though this is, quote, Jewish theater, the culture, it appeals to diverse audiences. It is not just for Jewish folk, by Jewish folk, And I grew up listening to Leonard. Is it Bernstein or Stein? I've heard it pronounced both ways.
It has been. We're going with Bernstein.
We say Stein.
Yeah.
Bernstein.
Yeah.
And the voice you just heard now on camera is that of Ben Becker, who is working with Faye Sholiton, one of Cleveland's premier playwrights, directors, producers of fine theater. And Ben, you're from the Maltz Museum. You are the manager of public programs.
Stop the Hate.
And Stop the Hate. And that is this progress. Yeah, I told you I speak English. This is the project that is currently going on. When you said Stop the Hate at first, I got a little mixed up mentally, because there's another special project called Guns Without Violence that is going to be coming up soon, and with community service performances. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Sure.
And what do you do in charge of the public programming?
Sure. I have been with the museum about a year and a half now.
Okay.
And I really have two roles primarily at the museum. The first is to put together our slate of programs to bring people into the museum outside of our special exhibitions, but related to the themes of our special exhibition and also our core exhibition. The museum was opened in 2005 to tell the story of the Jewish community in Northeast Ohio. And our core exhibition really focuses on our immigrant background, the way that the community built itself up over time. It focuses on the Holocaust. We do a lot of Holocaust education for the community. And it brings us through. So currently at the Maltz Museum, our special exhibition is called Leonard Bernstein and the Power of Music. And it's all about how Leonard Bernstein used his art to have an impact on the world. And we all know Bernstein from some of the greatest musical compositions and plays of the 20th century, but he also took very seriously his Jewish identity and used that to be an activist in many different ways. And so, as Faye mentioned, when we were putting together this calendar of programming, we wanted to pick up on some of these threads. And Bernstein's experience playing music and conducting music in a displaced persons camp following World War II for survivors who had lived through the worst experiences of the Holocaust, it was, as Faye mentioned, some of the first moments of beauty or art that any of these people had seen in a very, very long time. So Deb Filler has a very personal connection to this. Her father witnessed these performances, and she went and found Leonard Bernstein herself and went on this journey. And so her story, more than just the Bernstein connection, is all about how her family, who survived the Holocaust, immigrated to New Zealand. Now she herself lives in Toronto. It's all about how music has impacted her life in many different ways. And so for us, the Bernstein connection and the Holocaust connection was a very great opportunity to bring this very talented person to Cleveland. So we're excited to be working with Faye and Interplay Jewish Theatre. We've put together a lot of great programs with them in the past. This one's going to be a special night. It's going to be at the Mandel JCC at Stonehill Auditorium. Tickets cost $25 for general audiences, $20 if you're a Maltz Museum member or a member of the JCC. And you can buy tickets online, maltzmuseum.org, or you can call our office at 216-593-0575.
Question, let me be clear. The JCC Mandel building, Is that part in the Maltz Museum, or
No.
where is that located in the Stonehill Auditorium?
So that is at 26001 South Woodland Boulevard.
Oh, the big complex.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's they're our neighbor. I mean, physically and
Yes.
philosophically.
Because you're kind of between South Woodland and Shaker
Exactly.
Boulevard.
Yes.
And we want to encourage all of the community to come out and visit the Maltz Museum, because it's a beautiful museum. And yes, they have a variety of gallery exhibits. I was trying to remember, my brain doesn't work too well. I promise you. You've seen a little of that already. But we were there, a friend of mine, we went to see several years back, an art exhibit featuring, I wasn't sure whether it was Mr. Saleh or who. I know it's before your time.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was a black African American original works gallery display. So
I hope you'll come back and check out the Bernstein exhibition.
no, I'm not coming out there. Even though I just live on Van Aken off South Woodland, I'm not coming there.
You just told your whole audience to come. You gotta show up, right?
Yes, doggone it.
We'll see you there.
Yeah. So anyway, the actual Deb Filler production of I Did It My Way is at the JCC Mandel Theater. Go straight out South Woodland, right before Brainerd Road. It's not South Woodland, excuse me, Shaker Boulevard, right before Brainerd Road.
No, it's
The entrance is on South
The
Woodland.
entrances to the J is on South Woodland.
I know what I'm talking about. Can't you tell? So yes, try South Woodland. That might get you in the building a little easier and better.
For sure.
So you've done a number of projects with the Maltz Theater Museum. I'm so used to doing theater talk.
I know.
Yeah.
What kind of other projects have you done with them in recent memory?
In recent memory, I have done things that have traveled, including when they had the baseball exhibit a few years ago. We actually did a performance at League Park, which was a lot of fun. We have done original works there. We commissioned 4 new plays during an exhibit of discrimination in medicine, which was a historical problem that Jewish doctors, black doctors, other minorities could not practice.
Right.
And because we had different stations around the exhibits, we could set those up as sets for 10-minute plays.
Okay.
And our audience just walked from one to the next, and they saw 4 plays in one night, and we're going to be replicating that, I understand, next year.
Okay.
I won't tell you which exhibit because it hasn't been announced yet, but we will be doing that again. It was a lot of fun. We have done everything from honor Gay Pride Month to Arab American Month to Mother's Day. One year we did scenes and monologues, so there were short works with the same 3 actors performing all the roles, and then people had brunch afterward. So it's whatever you all need, whatever you say you want. I dig in and look through my files and find, I think, the best stuff around. We're really proud of it.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, because I am a lot, I believe one of our grand dames of theater, Dorothy Silver, has done a number of productions with you, and of course around town, because she and her late husband, Reuben, who do I like to say, the couple, Hugh Cronin and Jessica Tandy.
Or Lawton Fontaine.
The Fontaine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So now, in addition to the productions and performances, you've got this special project called Stop the Hate. Can we get back to that
Yes, absolutely.
for a minute? Yes.
Stop the Hate has been around for 12 years now. It started very shortly after the museum was opened as a way to get stories from the community and to solicit stories from students. We see our mission as building bridges. And so in order to do that, we tell our story every day through our programs and through our exhibitions, and we collect stories from students in the region in order to build community. And these particular stories we use to empower students to think about what kind of world they want to live in, and to think about their ability to respond to things like slurs, bullying, various types of hatred and discrimination that they might encounter in school or in their community. So Stop the Hate primarily is an essay contest. It's running now. It typically is on from September to mid-January. And so any student in 12 counties around Northeast Ohio, not just Cuyahoga, from Lorain to Ashtabula, all the way through Akron, Canton, Youngstown, and everywhere in between, we ask students to write an essay about something that happened to them. We ask them to reflect on how it made them feel, and we ask them to describe how they responded, not necessarily in that moment, but just some way that they responded in order to make the world a better place. We get about 2,000 to 2,500 essays every year, and we pick, for the 11th and 12th graders, we pick top 10 finalists who read their essays in front of a couple hundred community members.
Wow.
This year, it's a free program open to the public, April 2nd, 2020, at Severance Hall, at the Reinberger Auditorium. And these finalists will read their essays, their oral score will be combined with their written score. We do this because we want to encourage students to make a public stance and argue for a position, right? So it's a little bit of a oratory competition, and the winner at that level is actually competing for a $40,000 scholarship to college.
Wow.
And we give away $40,000, $15,000 to second place, $10,000 to third place, and $5,000 to fourth place in scholarships.
Okay.
And all told, we give out $100,000 every year to these student upstanders for sharing their ideas and sharing their stories with us. And we also do some school-based grants. So for example, the grand prize winner school will receive a grant of about $5,000 for, an assembly or student-led training, diversity initiatives. It's all about empowering students to speak up and use their voices. And so that is sort of the other side of my job, and I really love getting out into the community and meeting these kids. It's really incredible. The booklet that you have here has all of our finalists from last year, and it's really sad. If you look through, you'll see every kind of discrimination that exists. But the positive piece is that these kids have started clubs at school. They've done fundraisers for existing national initiatives, started conversations in their communities that just wouldn't happen without them. So this idea that it really just takes one person to not solve the world's problems. We're not going to save everybody or help everybody, unfortunately, but to make a change in their community is really, really impactful.
One person at a time.
That's right. We like to think of ourselves as a museum of action. We talk a lot about individuals throughout history who have done this type of thing, and we have a Stop the Hate tour at our museum, and we talk about the history of hatred and racism and discrimination. We obviously include the Holocaust in that as well. And we want to involve students today. And there's a new component this year that we're really, really excited about, which is that on April 26, 2020, partnering with Cuyahoga Community College, their Eastern campus out by us.
Sure.
We're inviting all participants of the Stop the Hate Essay Contest to join us for a half-day-long summit. It's our first annual Stop the Hate Summit, which will include some keynote presentations, some workshops, and some community building where folks can meet students from outside their own schools, from outside their normal day-to-day, where they will actually be given some really powerful instruction and some learning and development in diversity and inclusion. Because just by writing this essay, they've shown an interest and an ability, and we want to really give something back for that, and we're excited about that.
Positive news in education, good heavens almighty. We got to get that word out.
Yes.
So people who want to learn more about anything happening
Yes.
at the Maltz Museum, phone number, email, websites.
You can contact me directly. Again, this is Ben Becker, and I'm at 216-593-0575. And you can check out our website, maltzmuseum.org/STH, as in
Stop the Hate.
That will take you you to a landing page about the contest. If you want to learn more about our programming, go to maltzmuseum.org, or you can give us a call. You can buy tickets online or over the phone. We want to make it easy for folks to come and get to know us. We're out in the suburbs. We sometimes think about University Circle. We get a little jealous, but we're doing a lot of great things out in Beechwood, and we hope everyone will come out and check us out.
We certainly do, and we applaud you, encourage you, and you've only been there a year and a half, or approximately, and it sounds like you have made tremendous strides and progress in your programming, and I guess it's been under her tutelage.
Right.
Where would we be without Miss Faye Sholiton?
Well, we do so much of what we do with her help. I mean, she packs our house very consistently. She's done a lot of great work, at least in my short time, and I know a lot of great things before as well. So.
And I have attended some of Faye's productions, and they do have some of Cleveland's finest well-known and not so well-known actors performing in them. Faye, if people want to connect with you as a playwright, as founder of the Jewish Interplay Theatre, are you directing also?
This season I am.
Okay.
She can do it all.
I'm hip to that.
Yeah, I would never hang out my shingle. I don't think anyone else would hire me. When you're the producing artistic director, you can hire whoever you want.
Yes, and you can
but
be in
nobody
charge.
has burst my door down to direct anything that they've written. But that could still happen.
It could happen.
It could.
So if people
where there's life, there's hope.
Want to connect with you to find out more about your theater company, and if they want to hire you to produce, direct, write, how can they reach you?
I would say our website is interplaycleveland.com, and then through that you can find me. You can find, because I'm pretty much the organization. All the officers are listed, which is to say my name is on it. And then you'll find me through that. There's a contact button, and I hope you'll find us. Thank you for the support.
You got that right, kid. I'm so happy we ran into each other recently at the Cleveland Playhouse and reconnected. So we want to thank our special guests this afternoon, Faye Sholiton and Ben Becker from the Maltz Museum. And their current production that's going up January 15th. So be sure to get to the Maltz Theater site and get a ticket real soon. And you'll be able to hear some of the Leonard Bernstein music in the background at all, or is this strictly
of the show?
Of the show.
I think she's performing her original compositions.
Okay.
Check out our program.
It's probably in the movie. It's probably in the documentary.
Yeah. You know what? You can come to the Maltz Museum lobby. We're playing Leonard Bernstein music all day.
Rhapsody in Blue, Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue.
Right.
And if there's two people on the planet who don't know that music is the universal language, it solves all the problems. It transcends every culture, nationality, race, creed, whatever other colors and cultures we are these days. But that's what music does. I don't care whether you're in Japan, so to speak, or whether you're out in Los Angeles. Music enhances, elevates, raises the consciousness so that we all can have an appreciation. And if you have never heard Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin, you got to get a recording of that, because even after all this time, back from the 50s and 60s and maybe even late 40s, if I hear that, I just start dancing with myself.
That's a great one.
Because I don't have good sense, but that's okay. And on that note, folks, thank you for joining us. Thank Faye and Ben. And we want to take just a moment to acknowledge that one of Cleveland's own has passed away, Roy Richardson. Tuskegee Airman. His services, based on our taping, were yesterday, full military honors. And you will see where we have interviewed Roy. James McGilbray, our videographer, and we knew him. So to Stacy Crawford, one of his daughters, we wish you the peace and comfort of knowing that your dad, Roy Richardson, Tuskegee Airman, is out there in the universe somewhere. Take care.
Listed, which is to say my name.